My husband's ex-girlfriend kept sabotaging my projects and telling coworkers she'd remind my husband that he married the wrong person. I got her blacklisted from our entire industry. I've been working at this pharmaceutical company for 8 years and worked my way up to senior director of clinical research. My husband Tom and I met at a conference 5 years ago when he was presenting his research on autoimmune disorders. We got married 2 years later and everything was perfect. Tom always mentioned his high school girlfriend Ashley when we talked about our pasts. They dated all through high school and college. Then she dumped him to move to Paris for some art thing. He was devastated but eventually got over it and focused on his career. I didn't think much about her until she showed up at my office 3 months ago. She was interviewing for a research coordinator position in my department. I recognized her from old photos Tom had shown me. She acted like she had no idea who I was during the interview. Her resume was actually impressive. She had a chemistry degree and 5 years of lab experience. My boss Keith loved her and wanted to hire her immediately. I couldn't say no without looking petty, so she started the next week. First day, Ashley comes to my office and says we should clear the air. She tells me she knows I'm married to Tom and she's totally over him, just needed a job and my company had the best opening. She said she hoped we could be professional. I believed her because why would she come back after 10 years just to mess with my marriage? But then little things started happening. She'd bring up stories about Tom from high school during team meetings, like we'd be discussing protocols and she'd randomly say something reminded her of when Tom did this or that in chemistry class. She friend requested all my coworkers on social media and started posting old photos of her and Tom from when they were teenagers. She'd tag people from my team asking if they could believe how cute they were together. Then she started making mistakes that only affected my projects. She'd mess up the sample labeling on my trials but never anyone else's. She'd forget to submit my reports but remember everyone else's. When I confronted her, she'd apologize and say she was still adjusting to the new systems. Keith started noticing my projects were falling behind and asked what was going on. Ashley was in the meeting and acted all concerned, offering to help me get back on track. She made it look like I was the one struggling. The worst part was when Tom's mom Helen came to visit us. Ashley somehow found out and showed up at the restaurant where we were having dinner. She acted shocked to see us and Helen was so excited to see her after all these years. Ashley sat down with us and spent the whole dinner talking about their relationship and how Tom proposed to her in college but she turned him down. Tom looked uncomfortable but Helen kept asking questions. Ashley actually said she regretted leaving Tom and wondered what could have been. After that dinner, Ashley started texting Tom. Just friendly stuff at first, asking how his mom was, sending articles about research. Tom showed me everything but I could tell he was flattered by the attention. She'd ask him to get coffee to catch up and he'd ask me if it was okay. I always said yes because I didn't want to look like the jealous wife. Then I found out from my coworker Rita that Ashley had been telling people she was only working there temporarily until Tom realized he married the wrong person. Rita heard her on the phone saying she just needed a few more months to remind Tom what they had. That's when I decided to end this. I started by being extra helpful to Ashley. I volunteered her for every terrible project that came up. The boring data entry studies that took months. The failed trials that needed extensive documentation. The compliance audits that required working with our worst clients. I told Keith she was eager to prove herself and could handle the extra work. Ashley couldn't say no without looking bad. Then I recommended her for a special assignment with our partner company in Japan. 3-month minimum, potentially extending to a year. I told Keith she'd mentioned wanting international experience, and this was perfect for her career growth. Keith thought I was being so supportive of my team member. Ashley tried to decline, but Keith said this was an incredible opportunity, and rejecting it would show she wasn't serious about advancing. While she was panicking about Japan, I did some digging on her previous job. Found out she was let go for having an inappropriate relationship with her married boss. She'd actually done this before, trying to break up marriages. I reached out to her previous coworkers and got all the details. 3 different people confirmed she'd stalked the man's wife and tried to sabotage her. I compiled everything into a neat little folder. The day before Ashley was supposed to leave for Japan, she came to my office crying. Full story on channel, link below.